The year's 1899. The wild, wild west is now becoming a tamed beast. Cities are erecting, towns are growing, and the idea of modern civilization is on an uproar. Gangs are dying out, law and order are on the rise, and the time for the outlaw is slim. You play as Arthur Morgan, a head member of the Dutch Vanderlyn gang, a gang that is filled with misfits in need of a family and a sense of acceptance. The game starts off with our main character out in a snowy wilderness in distress of their last heist gone wrong. Members lost, dead, and captured by the law. Hey guys, it's Evergreen, and recently I replayed through Red Dead Redemption 2 just because this is one of the games that I remember waiting years for the very first one to come out, because I played Red Dead Revolver back on the PlayStation 2 and I was in love with the idea of a Western gang-like game. And, well, I just want to point out where Rockstar did phenomenal work, and where they also kind of, punched the cooch. Anyways, as I usually like to go, I want to start off with the story. Okay, and I just want to put this out there real quick. If you like my videos and you find yourself here more and more, maybe leave a like and a subscribe, and leave a comment of where you came in around, what video made you subscribe, if you're subscribed. And if you haven't, just do it. It's free. So, the story. You, Arthur Morgan, a rugged bandit since he was a teenager, starts out ruthlessly caring only for the gang and himself, and not really caring much for the people that you'd consider just collateral, the civilians. From bar fights to robberies to cold-blooded murder, Arthur is known for his animalistic aggression. Not only that, but his loyalty to the gang. Your gang needs money to survive, and since your last heist kind of failed, you start looking for ways to make money. You take up refuge in Valentine, where the locals are relatively accepting so long as you behave. You spend time getting gang members out of trouble, such as saving Micah Bell from the rope and Hosea from a legendary bear, until you are sent to collect debts for Strauss. That's when Arthur's life changes. You go to house and you see these people, and they're all people that are in areas where they can't really pay back any debts that they're owing. And yet, here you are, going down, beating down doors, punching them into the floor, beating them senseless because they owe you money that Strauss should have never really given out to them. Anyways, this is a little bit of spoilery section. I'm going to get a little bit deeper in the story, so if you want to skip ahead to the gameplay portion, I understand. It's not going to be long here, but just want to give a little rundown. You encounter a man with tuberculosis, and Arthur contracts it. From there, subtle changes happen in Arthur's day-to-day life. He goes downhill, all the gangs slowly falling apart, Dutch going mad, and Arthur trying to make amends with his impending doom and all the bad that he's done in his life. One thing leads to another, and the family you built is now dead. Dutch and Micah are both out to kill Arthur, and Arthur is just trying to survive. How you play this game will tell two different stories. So if you want to go around just murdering people and it doesn't matter who they are, you can do that. Go right ahead. Run from the law. Be an outlaw. But that leads the story to the bad ending, where you're just ruthlessly murdered and left for dead. And the good ending happens the same way, but there's a little bit lighter of a tone to it, so you still die, but you're not murdered. You just are left to die. The story, there's quite a few acts to it, where you're just traveling from town to town, basically, area to area, and the gang is trying to do their next big heist. But that's when the Pinkertons come in and get involved, because they realize, hey, a lot of this MO matches the last heist, and was in Blackwater. Anyways, Leviticus Cornwall will do anything to protect his money, so he kind of also is on the side of the Pinkertons. It's definitely a story that is not something that can all just be crammed into one video. It's something that you have to experience, because it really is a roller coaster of a ride. It's something that you take your time on, you slowly digest it, and You appreciate every part of it for what it is. Next, I want to talk about the gameplay, because Lord knows they put so much detail into this gameplay. From subtle things when you're hunting, like pheromones coming off your body, you're tracking animals, how the wind direction's going, are the animals going to smell you, are you being too loud? Subtle things like that, from even what guns you use to hunt animals. You can't just gun them down with whatever gun you have. If you want to sell it, at least, you're going to get some pretty lousy pelts. So from shooting opposing gangs to looting bodies and chests, this is the most immersive experience in a game that you can play currently. The level of detail in this game is one that could rival reality. Each animation feels natural, and it's so well executed. Rockstar Games has made a masterpiece that deserves all the praise they got. From weather affecting what you wear, to even the way your horse reacts to the weather is absolutely ridiculous. Each interaction feels fresh and like a real encounter. The weapons all have their own feel and the way they dispatch enemies and animals, and it makes them all have their own purpose and their own use. From having to clean your guns, to washing off Arthur, washing your horse, all those things have plays in this game. Everything that you can do, from how you rob somebody, how you stop somebody who witnessed a crime. There are so many ways to approach situations in this game that it's not just a simple clean cut, you're done. You can be an aggressor. You can be somebody who stops them in their path and says, hey, look, you didn't see anything, you can go. But you know what? Never mind. Actually, give me your money too. So the fact that you have all these options and choices that you can make really gave this game a great feeling for me. It made me appreciate all the work and effort that they put into this game, because I don't know a single game currently, other than this one, that allows you to do the things that you can do in this one. And honestly, if Rockstar Games doesn't make the next game as immersive as this one, they're kind of dropping the bar, because this game, to me, it should give you the choice to be immersive or not immersive. You know what I mean? They should give you a choice to whether when you go loot something, does it just pop up in your cache, or do you actually want to search their bodies? I feel like that would make this game a little more in touch with current generation gamers. But if they don't make their next game this way, it's going to be a letdown on my book. Okay, so next category I have up is the world. The level of detail that the world has, such as wildlife, plants, and people, is on a level that hasn't been ever shown in games before. Each animal is unique in how they react and how they take, basically how you hunt them. With the game having hundreds of animals and people with all unique attributes and lives, it gives everything a real touch, a feeling of, this makes sense. This feels legit to me. Each town having different ways of dealing with crimes. This game aims, and each town having different ways of dealing for the crimes that you do. Such as, you go to Saint Denis, cops are everywhere. You don't do crimes there without getting caught. You go to Valentine, you got a chance. You go to Strawberry, you could probably get away with it. There's even a town where if you attack somebody, they don't have cops. The whole town just pulls out guns and starts shooting at you. This game aims for realism, while others take the full form of being just a game, Doesn't matter how you do stuff, it's a game. You're allowed to do it in a game. And that's where it comes to, like, this game, the world, everything that this game has to offer is just, it's art. It's all art, and it's subject to who it's meant for. It's not meant to be just a game. It is a work of art. Not everyone will see its beauty, from the swampy waters of Lemoy to the grizzly mountains. Each area has its own unique feeling. The way that areas can captivate you as a player with their subtle storytelling ways, from abandoned settlements and homesteads that riddle the open map, each having their own story, each feeling as well depicted as some games' main stories are told. This game is so rich with stories that it's meant to be explored and picked apart. You don't just come across somebody on the campfire and, they don't have anything to tell you. They got a story. If you sit and listen to them, they might tell you. Or, you never know, you might get robbed for just sitting down and talking to somebody. You might get shot at because they don't want to be dealt with. They could be blackout drunk and hating life, and you just happen to come across them and talk to them. And how you talk to them can change the way the story ends. Now, as I'm getting kind of closer to the end of the review, I want to talk about my cons with the game. So, Red Dead Online. And everybody knew that we'd have to talk about this because it's included with the game. This potential successor to GTA Online is what we wanted, but I, for one, was ready for something to claim that throne. But unfortunately, that was wishful thinking on me and the community. We all remember Red Dead Redemption Online from the 360 days, and how that was, kind of the pinnacle of online mayhem. You have people riding on buffaloes and people just lassoing each other, throwing each other on train tracks, all for fun. So we all expected something similar and more exciting. However, this is what we got. A broken multiplayer game with, in my opinion, a shitty character customization based on who fucked who. And the outfits look like when you're 10 and you try on a jacket for a man going in his third divorce. Like, I go to a tailor, I want something that fits me nice. I don't want something that looks like I bought it off the Walmart shelf. And the economy for this game, after 2 years, is still broken. And people have exploited the aim assist to all living hell. From snapping, just a headshot with a .22 caliber. All this said, and you can barely even play an online game because the servers are constantly down. The online isn't what this game deserves, or even what the community deserved. Rockstar gave us DLC in the first game on top of the online, but the DLC is why I continued to play the first game. I never really figured, oh, hey, I'm going to go play the online. No, I want to play the DLC that comes for these games. So I'm asking, Rockstar, just give us a DLC, a new adventure to experience with either Arthur or even John Marston. You gave us a vampire in the main story, and I want a DLC to kind of expand on that idea. There's aliens, so why not do like a Cowboys vs. Aliens kind of theme DLC? This game deserves the same love from the devs that the community gave it. This game deserves to be expanded upon. We need something to make this something that we play for the years to come, because I can tell you for now, I am not going to return to play the multiplayer. If I'm going to hop on Red Dead, it's for the story. I'm not going to go on here. Don't get me wrong, there are people who enjoy the online. I'm not shitting on that because, you do you, boo. But as for me, I don't enjoy it. I like to play multiplayer games that are meant to be played multiplayer, not games that have a phenomenal story and then a broken multiplayer. That's just not who I am. So now I have a whole section for the cons. So by the end of the game, you're either used to or tired of the mechanics of looting and survival. So you're like, I don't want to really be cooking anymore. I don't want to have to pick up somebody and take 5-10 seconds to loot one body individually. Because when you're in a gunfight and you start looting because you push the wrong button, it can take a while, which can result in a death. One moment you're looting a house, the next the law's on top of you, shooting first and asking questions later. Another major con for me is the way crime works. Who the fuck saw me stab some guy in a forest area that was clear for miles? Suddenly the law is up my ass knowing what I look like. Things like that break the immersion for me because it's hyper realistic until the game says, sorry, it's not it, chief. Either go all in or don't go in at all. The For a game about gangs, I feel like it held me back from being a rough and tough outlaw because of the mechanics sometimes. Yes, the bandana has its own role due to this, but like, if there's no one around, why the hell are the cops aware of what I did? It's just as bad as the cops on Cyberpunk. How did they find out? There was literally no trails around me. How did people see that? I can tell you, if I stab somebody, I'm just looting. Or if I saw somebody just looting a campsite, I didn't see a body, I'm not going to assume that they murdered somebody. I'm not going to run out to go get a cop right away because I didn't know. I didn't get a, 100% clarification. The other major cons for me is like the stories missions, they're so very linear. There's no room for adventure and for the story to change, I personally feel the game would have benefited from a Metro Exodus style or even Detroit Become Human, approach where Micah could have died from the jailbreak, or even if you just didn't go get him before the hanging, because, that would cause me to want to see every ending of this game that it had to offer. Let the choices be mine to make. Like if Dutch dies, let's get a cutscene that shows everybody mourning, basically everybody out doing their own thing, because if Dutch died in this game, there's no reason for the first game that actually came out in 2008. So I want that. Like if Hosea dies, let me see a different story play out. Maybe I'm asking too much. However, this game was far more ambitious than what I'm asking for. Let the choices I make affect the story. Lastly, there's no fast travel. This map is huge. Like, why the hell would I ride my horse through this massive map when sometimes that feels like a chore? Like, don't get me wrong, the scenery is breathtaking, the encounters are engaging, and the gameplay makes it interesting. But also, the time it takes to travel from one side of the map to the other feels like a drag. Especially if you die and you make no progress, then you got to go back. Or if you didn't save. Because, I did not save. I had played about 8 hours through the game. And my Series X turned off. So quick resume was just off. And yeah, I had to restart from the very beginning. If I want to play a game that takes ages to go somewhere, I will play Flight Simulator, and I will fly across the globe. In conclusion, and my rating, the game that took 8 years, however, will end up playing for many more years to come. This game is more in depth than your last Twitter post and more captivating than your Tinder match at 2 a.m. Red Dead Redemption 2 is Rockstar's peak in storytelling and has set the bar for what RPGs should aim for. It gave the prequel a juicy, fulfilling, and satisfying story for one of the most crazy games that we played on the last generation, or actually no, the previous generation, 2 generations ago. Anyways, the gameplay is one of a kind, making each playthrough an experience of the generation. Though it has its flaws, they aren't ones that would ruin this marvel for me, nor should they steer you clear from playing it. As far as Red Dead Online, I'll just say it's not worth the microtransactions that they have. Its broken economy, exploitable gameplay make it unenjoyable. Based off of this, just being a story, like if you bought this game just for the story, I'm saying fuck the online and understand you're not going to get DLC. Overall, I give this single player experience a 9.4 out of 10. Remarkable in many fields, but having things that could make it an easy 10 in my book. If you like my review of Red Dead Redemption, feel free to, leave a like, comment for sure. Like, talk about, if you played through this game, let's talk about how you felt about the game. Did you love it too, or did you think it was a waste of time? Did you hate playing it because you felt like it was a chore? Let's talk about it. And as for if you're not subscribed, just do it. It's free. I do my best to upload videos, but as I said in my last video and the video before, just with work and everything, I just do this when I have a chance to. And I do my best to make this entertaining and more and more fun. I try to be me. So, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and as always, peace, love, homies.
I've seen enough!
Arthur! You alive? Arthur! God, you alive, Arthur?
I want to die. Where are we? What did we do?
I don't know.
Oh, me neither. Yeah.
You pair of degenerates. There's a fine for drunken violence in this town. You're just lucky no one was killed.
Hey, we didn't start a thing.
Yes, you did.
Well, I don't remember.
Either you fools got any money, it's $10 and you're free to walk.
Sure.
Now,